Well, I'm such a nerd about influencer marketing. I love it. I want them to know that they do not need $1 million budget or the largest follower count of creators to make an impact, to have a successful influencer program. It's really easy to look at the brands that just have these unlimited budgets. What really matters is understanding what success looks like within your organization and then finding those key creators and key industry leaders that speak to your audience and who your audience trusts really deeply and build a community within that. So first thing I recommend is think about any hesitations that your leadership team might have and try to come up with the answers or solutions to those ahead of time. So for example, we don't have the budget for that. We only have budget for paid ads. You can say, this is actually the portion of the budget I recommend spending on paid ads, and here's how we can use another portion of the budget to then boost the influencer content that we are paying for, or ways that we can repurpose it and actually get more use out of the content. So one thing I will say first, I do recommend having one primary and one secondary metric. That'll help you guide the type of campaign that you're building and which kind of creators you work with. So I'd say some of the most meaningful are lead generation, pipeline generation. And I would also say the vanity metrics can be important too, like brand impressions, reach, things like that, because depending on what you're trying to promote, that can also tell a story, especially when you dig into the audience demographics of that reach. So there are two things to avoid with this. On one hand, you have brands who don't really give any guidance, and so the creator is just out there flailing around trying to figure out what to post. And on the other hand, you have brands that hand the creator a document with copy and say, just post this. You want to be somewhere in the middle. You want to have what's called a creative brief or a campaign brief, where you can outline messaging they can avoid, messaging they can lean into, if there are specific features or products you want them to speak to, giving them context on that. The more you integrate them into that process and into your marketing strategy, you're setting them up for success. Because I think at the end of the day, they also want to keep this partnership going. And if they don't know what success looks like, they can't do that for you.